Guys, we rehearsed this. It's quack. Howdy, folks. Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the Modsauce2 server, and it's time to do something phenomenally important, great, discovery of epic, wonderful. Oh, it's not all that important at all, but it's fun. I'm gonna drop here a golden egg and then back off. You can see I've done a few of these. The dirt has been kicked up and the explosions drop down. If you've never seen this done, after a while you get a little spin and then it spins more. There it goes, it's spinning more. And it spins faster. And then it starts lifting up and it's going to start bringing up blocks with it. So that's what these things are all from. And then comes the big boom. Yep. And a mini-me. Hello, mini-me. But you're not going to be mini-me. You're going to be a mini-Mekle. Here. Gotcha. All right, let's head back this way. And, hey, there's Mekle right there. Shh, be very quiet. He's AFK. All right, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna come over here, and right up here, let's get ready. Ignore the thunder. Plop, there he goes there, and then I'm gonna put the invisible block right there, and then pull out my pick and say, give me that. And give me that. And there's a little Mekle sitting there. His mustache doesn't look quite right. But that's a little spot there for Mekle. And over here is a little spot for Nepo. And over here is Reinwick. And over here is me. There, or at least the mini-me. And I put a little few decorations. You know, I've got a little chair and a desk. So I figured, yeah, this is until I actually have a real base to do decorations and fun stuff with. This'll work. Besides, it's thundery. I think I'll take a nap. It's desert. Lots and lots of desert. We decided that we wanted an always day desert world for the heat. And if you've ever thought of that, heat and desert, and yeah, you know where we're going, we're thinking massive amounts of mechanism. In fact, if we take a look, here's the entrance way to the world, and spawned up a little bit of mechanism stuff here. Got a beginning of a ME system hooked up. This does ore tripling, so we take the water, separate it into hydrogen and oxygen. Oxygen's going that way, the hydrogen's going this way, and it's really loud and obnoxious. That's actually generating power, which we're storing. Then it purifies ore, and then it crushes the ore, then it enriches the ore, and then it smelts the ore, and you get three ingots for every ore piece that you toss in. So we're tripling it here, and we're looking at that and going, yeah, let's go bigger. So we're looking at what we need for the tier 4 to quadruple the ore, and we need one of these evaporation blocks taller than this. This is just kind of a prototype, make sure things are working, and it's working nicely. Although I'm looking at that and I don't know if that's supposed to be there in the corner. I thought it was supposed to be only on the inner piece, but oh well. Mekle made that. And we're thinking, let's skip 4 and let's go all the way up to 5. So we're going to be quintupling our ores. But I was looking at this and going, it's kind of roly-poly through here, and so it's time to have a nice flat spot. So that's what I've been doing the last little bit, taking out my pick and going brrr, mowing down the sand. So we're down to a nice, more even area. And where I can, I'm going to remove the sandstone and put sand, and then we can build something here for ore processing. Not 100% sure about the design, other than we're going to have the ME system embedded in the floor, and those big salination spots, they're going outside because it's too big. We're talking, 18 tall. Too big. You may call me the flattenator because I have gone around here and flattened a huge chunk of this desert. And Mekla came on a little while ago, and we decided to do a bigger set of salination or plants, and so we did. Got 2 of them there. Probably going to need a whole bunch more if we're going to go to the quintuple, or we need a bunch of these. And if we go for fusion, that's going to require a bunch more too. Anyway, done with the sand. I could do more there, but too lazy. What you just watched was all I have left of episode 10, and for some reason the stuff I had recorded, other than those little bits, gone. So you don't get to see a lot of the work in progress. Instead, you just get to look and say, "Hey, what's this?" Let me show you. "Hey, what's this?" This is the Mekanism building. Yes, indeedy, this is the building, and this is thanks to Nepo. He came and did a little designing and said, that looks pretty good, and replicated it around and got it all going. So, Mekanism, and put glass on top, and we said, yeah, we can shove our Mekanism stuff into here. So we did, and that's what we got here. I'm going to turn that on. We've got ourselves a little bit of the ME hookup here, portals. Mekli just set this up just a little while ago that tells us how much we have of the various things. So, liquid H2, liquid O2, the hydrogen chloric acid, the sulfuric acid, brine, and lithium, which isn't currently being created right now. Brine is going, and the brine is really kicking up a notch, which is good because we have a lot of evaporators here. And these are not going just what you see. They go all 18 all the way down. So I figured I didn't need it to stick up. I wanted to be able to access the controls easier, so I started burying them. And then Nepo was going around saying, oh, but I designed this to be tall enough so they could stand up in here. And I said, well, I'm not breaking them back up. Other stuff. I'm going to put another one over here. I was going to put 2 more here, but that actually goes down below into stuff, and so I said nope. And I'm going to do another 3 here. All these guys are going to produce brine. We were finding was a real slowdown for the stuff that we were needing because we've got the ore processing going on. We got all sorts of random bits scattered around here. So I was showing off earlier. You got the smelter that just makes the ingots, and the enriching and the crushing. That gives you the tier 3. Let's see, no, the elite purifying gives you the tier 3, and that uses the oxygen. And then this one here is the tier 4, and that uses the hydrogen chloride gas. And then the tier 5 stuff comes into this chest and gets fed in, and off it goes. And these are fully upgraded to make them go as fast as possible, which is very nice. Let's see, that's making lithium, but we turned that off for now. Let's go down and show off some of the other Mekanism bits. Whoop. All right, so bits and stuff and things and junk and whatnot. So tier 1 or tier 3 stuff we need to take, and it uses the oxygen. Well, I originally had that processing here and decided, no, I use oxygen for all sorts of things, so let's come over here. I've got 3 of these electrolytic separators running, and they are just dumping excess. So we always have plenty of hydrogen and oxygen on hand. They are also going ahead and, once they get created, turned into liquid, and then we're storing them into our bedrockium drums, which then are being exported out into ender tanks so that we can move the liquid wherever we need. And that's what we're using over there. So it means that, yes, we're compressing gases and decompressing them all over the place, but I don't care. I like having all that storage. Over here we have the hydrogen, and so the oxygen gets us the tier 3 so that we can triple our stuff. And we need the hydrogen plus the brine. So I've got 3 electrolytic separators here. Those give us the chlorine gas, which we combine with the hydrogen, and that gives us the hydrogen chloride. And then again, we're compressing that down into the liquid. And so we filled up our drum here, which is very nice. And then all the brine that's way up there, that is getting stored here in the brine bedrockium drum. And that's really ticking up fast. Very nice, very nice. And this is our lithium drum. So far, because we're backing up our drum, I haven't turned the brine into lithium yet. That's going to be making our fuel for the fusion reactor, which is planned. What do we have over here? ME connection. These generate the various alloys and whatnot from Mekanism, and that way we can sit there and say, you know, give me some of the top tier alloys, and it'll go ahead and process them all for us. That's our RF tools connection out of here. Tier 5. So that gives us the tier 4. Tier 5 needs sulfuric acid. So to get that going, we need the oxygen, and that's coming in with the water vapor, sulfuric acid. Let's see, where are we going here? Here's the sulfur. There, liquid oxygen. That's turning into the oxygen. That's coming into here. This is what's taking, yes, back here. Sulfur, that one. Sulfur from the nether is probably the easiest place to get sulfur, I find. And rather than making the sulfur, we're just harvesting it. The sulfur goes in here into the chemical oxidizer, and that makes sulfur dioxide, which combines with more oxygen, and that makes the sulfur trioxide. And you combine the trioxide with the water, there's the water vapor, sulfur trioxide, and that gives you the sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, we condense again to make the liquid backup, and then the liquid, or actually gaseous sulfuric acid, gets handled by these chemical dissolution chambers, or comes in, gets combined with sulfuric acid, and turns into this slurry that then gets washed clean and then gets crystallized out and then goes into the ender chest, which goes up there and gets processed. And so, all right, get up over here. Needs lots of water here. This is the incoming ore. Anything that is of these 7 ore types, let's see, gold, iron, copper, lead, silver, I'm trying to remember, osmium, and the other one. I can't remember. Tin, that's it. Those will get quintupled through this process. So they get filtered into this ender chest from the main base and wherever that's being processed into a massive chest for storage, and then they get processed individually through these, so that we don't have partial bits of, say, coppers in here and it's not all the way processed through, and then gold is coming behind it, and because the copper isn't all the way done, the gold stuff, yeah, so bad deal. So we got that separate. So yeah, this is the working guts, and I decided not to have all this up above because, you know, ugly. This looks much nicer. You know, having this array right here is really cool. And I love how this just automatically outputs back into the main ME system. I really wish it would input as well, and it doesn't, so that's why it needs that little bit there. Yes. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh, stuff back here. We're getting ready for fusion. So here's the fusion power plant that's going to kick off and do all its thing. And for some reason we decided to bury the battery storage for the fusion. Currently it is holding 2.8 giga RF, which is a lot of RF. We are pulling it in from our main system, plus some of the solar arrays are going into here. 4% full. It holds a lot more space. To give you an idea, that massive capacitor bank I have down just above the reactor, that holds 2 point something giga RF. And so we've already put 10 times that here into this big beast. When it's fully running from the fusion reactor and we fill this up, we will have power for everybody for years. Plenty. So next things to do, I need to bury a bunch more of those evaporators in there, and I think I will get the evaporators that I'm going to use for the lithium and pull them back out here, and because this is where the fusion is going. So the lithium will turn into the I got to remember, lithium becomes the tritium, which is half the fuel this use, and then I'll need to make a big bunch of pumps and refiners that will make the deuterium, and then together make the DT fuel that this will burn. So yeah, it's coming along. That's quite a lot of stuff in there, but sadly, you don't get to see the place getting made. You don't get to see some of the things in progress as I was trying to figure out how to get that tier 5 stuff going. I'd done tier 3 before. That's real easy to do. Did the tier 4, figured out how that was done, and then started slogging my way through the tier 5. But fun, fun. Also thinking maybe putting some of that tritium or deuterium processing up in here, but not sure. Not sure what to put up in this section. It's update time. So, got a little few things here. Let's switch over. One of the things I did, I went ahead and replaced the chunk loader, and now you can see we've got these little cactus border. That everything on the inside is loaded chunks. It's a 9x9 chunk loaded area, and they were single stacked, but now they're growing, and I've flattened out the area and building it up. But over here we have 4 towers dedicated specifically for turning the brine into lithium. And right now all of the brine in there is going to lithium. Some of it's going to have to be reserved for doing the quintuple ore processing, but for right now we're just making a lot of lithium. That's the plan. Over here, Mekla did some fun stuff. He went ahead and powered up and set up these lasers so that we can shoot that into the reactor and activate it once it has fuel. And yeah, we got 4 1/3, almost 4 1/4 stuff there. Let's just flip the switch real quick, and oh yeah, I can certainly hear those lasers. They are loud. Let's turn that off because too annoying. All right, so yeah, we're getting things going here, which is nice. And I think the next thing I need to do, I think Mekla is going to tackle the pellets that we need to turn the lithium into the tritium, and I'm going to start making a water field someplace and work on getting the duridium, production going. That I think will do as far as the water area. The cobblestone is where the pumps are going to sit on top of the water so I could see it, and I'm going to do a double wide border around the water just in case these pumps are extra excited and suck up the water too quick, so it should always replenish. So time to waterify and make some pumps. Like that, the water pool is done, and now I need a whole bunch of pumps. So I got it all done, and I said, "Hey, Mekle, come take a look at the coolness." And I was going, I don't understand why, for some reason, these pipes are not connecting to the output, and nor does it look like they're getting any power from the solar arrays on top of them. And he said, uh, maybe the power comes in the side and the water gets pulled out the top. Yes. Yes, it does. So I have to rearrange all these and put the power to the side and the pipes on the top. Because dumb. That's a lot of fish. And they get kind of tossed about as the water gets sucked up there. They're getting moved around and tossed. Anyway, so Mekle said, hey, look, you could rotate them around and put the solar panels in between, and maybe that's enough. And I was thinking, nah. Yeah, actually, the checked, and sure enough, the solar panels are keeping up with both of the pumps just fine, so good. I think I will put the processing stuff over there. And if I find I need more of this heavy water that the pumps are producing, I'll build the tank out further that way, and yeah, we'll have more fish. And I caught a heart. I went ahead and added 12 more of the 12 more of the pumps, because I was thinking it just wasn't pumping up enough, and my frames are really dropping, and I think it's because of all these fish. I really need to get rid of those. One of the things we're thinking about possibly upgrading to is the next build, and it has the passive torch, which hopefully will get rid of all these fish because there's so many of them. And I really don't want the heart. But over here, I couldn't keep up with just the one electrolytic separator. It just was not cutting it, and so I went ahead and went with two. And with this little arrangement here, they're both feeding into the gas tank, which is then feeding into the rotary condensator. And that seems to be working fairly well as far as keeping up. I could probably go even more, but I don't know. I think that's maybe enough Drutidium. I'm having a hard time. Deuterium. I keep thinking tritium, but no, it's deuterium. I was talking, and my wife was saying, tritium. Are you making a bomb? And I said, well, we're making a fusion reactor. And she says, well, it is a bomb. It's just a controlled bomb. Yes, it is. And that's just so many fish. Why are you so many fish? And we've been busy here. Got some tritium production going on over here with all these, what are these things? All I see is bounding block. Oh, there we go. These are the solar neutron activators. But for some reason I just see bounding block when I mouse over them. Anyway, these are taking the lithium and making the tritium that we need out of it. And we're storing that elsewhere, and then that's just kicking along here, and over here we have everything ready to fire on. We've got our tritium and our deuterium, or the other way around, and up here inside the reactor controller there's our whole rum with our DT fuel stored in it, so that's what's needed for the actual ignition. And then the actual deuterium and tritium will be the fuel from then on. These lasers are charging up the firing laser, and it says it's full, 5.0. So I say, Mekle, since you've set up all the lasers, why don't you go ahead and push the button? Let's see what it does.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we got something good going on in there. The reactor says it's formed. Heat's looking good. The plasma's in there.
Some fun animations inside.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see what our statistics say. I don't know if those are our statistics or it's just the regular. So it looks like right now it says it's producing 1.2 million joules per tick.
At 1.21 gigawatts.
Not quite 1.21 gigawatts, no. But yeah, power is flowing into our matrix here, which is very nice. So I'd say it's successful. What I would say we need to do at this point is keep an eye on the fuel burn and see if we're able to keep up with that nicely. And if we are, we can up the rate. Right now it's on 2, and we could increase the rate by another 2 to 4, and then just see how that goes and let that run for, you know, like overnight.
I just did. The plasma's... Yes. The plasma was dropping in temperature.
Alright, so we get that a little higher. Yeah, it looks like the casing's going up temperature-wise, and the plasma is also going up. So yeah, 4 at least. We can let that run and see how that's doing as far as the reactor. We could bump it up to 6, and then see how that's going, and then bump it up to 8, and back it off when we're burning a little bit too much. So in non-fusion news, I started playing with a little border going around the place so we can delineate what's loaded and what's not, and kind of liking the design that we came up with, but still need to make some gates and finish it all the way around. But it's looking pretty good so far. I think we are done with the reactor. In fact, if we take a quick look at it over here, went ahead and bumped up the amount of, that's the heat, took a look at the fuel, bumped it up to the injection rate of 6, and that's now doing 1.5 million joules per tick, which, if we translate that into RF, is 500, 600 some odd. You can see this is just bouncing up and around. This is not able to really keep up as well as the steady influx. 1.1 trillion RF, very nice. And we decided to go with the cryo-stabilized fluid duct here, or flux duct, because this does infinite transfer of RF. There is no limit on it. So whatever this produces, goes right on in, and we're storing a huge amount. And as you can see, that's about a third full. So we have plenty of power, plenty of power. That's the idea of what we wanted to do here. And Nepo's been running around here setting up some palm trees and thinking of making this kind of an oasis, which I think sounds like lots of fun. So it's been pretty productive. We got our fusion reactor going and power for days. In fact, I don't think our big reactor is ever going to have to fire off. But, you know, that's why we do it. Plenty of power. This has been Grok the DuckFarmer here on the Modsauce2 server, setting up a ton of stuff with Mekanism. Thanks for watching. Bye. That's a good question. I don't know if that's a deal. Oh, yeah, don't stand in the laser. It hurts.
Yes, it does.
There's water over there if you want to jump into the water and stop the burn. Maybe a little Bactine or something.